Have you ever heard a story that's too strange to believe, yet too real to ignore? One that was whispered slowly, barely noticed by historians, yet its footprint is imprinted on history and still haunts us. This is one such story. In 1952, in the frozen vastness of the Himalayan mountains, a detachment of Gurkha soldiers was marked. These soldiers were so respected and considered the most powerful. They were trained for the harshest terrains, for the most dangerous enemies. They were sent on top for a mission, but they vanished distress call. No survivors, no bodies. Not a single trace was ever found. What happened to them? Today we are going to dive deep into this haunting mystery. A group of Gurkha soldiers was sent on a mission at high altitude, but something went wrong. A search group was sent to this area, but nothing was found, not even a single trace. But there was a solitary kukuri knife standing upright in the snow, as if placed there. No official report was made public, nor any report was made out of this. This incident was completely wiped out of history. Even their families were not informed. But why did they do this? What are they hiding from the world? This is not a story of disappearance. It's a door to the unknown. The Gurkhas are elite soldiers from Nepal, known worldwide for their unmatched bravery, endurance, and loyalty. Their legacy dates back to the early 1800s, during the Anglo-Nepalese War. The British were so impressed by their fighting that they began to recruit them into the British Army. They are famous for their kukuri, a curved blade symbolizing honor and fearlessness. The motto of the Gurkhas is, "Better to die than to be a coward." This shows how courageous they are. They are not ordinary soldiers. They are mountain men, adapted to high altitudes, with instincts sharper than steel and a sense of discipline unlike any other. They're revered by allies and feared by enemies. In 1952, the reporters suggested that a unit of 30 to 40 Gurkha soldiers was deployed near the Indo-Tibetan border, possibly in what is today Arunachal Pradesh or Sikkim, to protect boundaries. At that time, tensions between India, China, and Tibet were simmering. Intelligence reports hinted at unusual movement around the borders. Some believe that the Gurkhas were sent to locate and map hidden supply routes being carved through the mountain passes, and some others believe that they were sent on a mission to find something valuable. Whatever the mission was, it ended in silence. The soldiers were fully prepared with survival gear, climbing ropes and rations for weeks. Their last radio signal was on March 22, 1952. Many units began searching for them, but there were no traces, no blood, no signs of struggles. What happened to them is still a question with no answer. The investigating team, after moving around the terrain, reached the location where we believe the last campsite of the Gurkhas. The investigating team expected to find a battlefield, but they were met with silence. The tents had collapsed but weren't torn. Winter clothing was scattered as if dropped in a hurry, but not a single body or footprint was visible. There were untouched rations, an abandoned journal that ended mid-sentence, and a radio with no damage, still switched on but without signal. Then came the most disturbing findings. A single kukuri knife, stuck upright in the snow. No blood, no markings. It looked ceremonial, almost like a warning or a signal left behind on purpose. Trees were found with strange burn marks, like scorched from within and not from outside. Some trunks had literally cracked as if from an internal burst of energy. And the wildlife? It was completely gone. The area was deathly quiet. Not a single bird, animal print, or insect. It was as if nature itself had recoiled from whatever had happened there. With no answers, the search team returned. Their report was marked confidential, then reclassified, and then those reports disappeared. To this day, no remains have ever been found. No names were ever released. And the entire incident was swept under layers of bureaucracy and denial. No one wants to talk about them, not even the media. Now here's where it gets really strange. You see, the Himalayas aren't just a mountain range. The Himalayas are considered sacred, feared, and protected by generations of myths and beliefs. To the people who live in their shadow, the mountains are alive, and some places are not meant for humans. They believe that a few places in the Himalayas are haunted, and it is believed that there is a presence of supernatural beings in a few places, and entry to those places is restricted by the local authorities. Local tribes like the Monpa, Sherpa, and Lepcha speak of ancient guardians, cursed valleys, and spiritual forces that protect certain regions from trespassers. In some of these stories, the ice watches. Spirits guard forgotten trails. People who ignore the warnings disappear. One elder in a nearby village reported to a British researcher in 1974 that those soldiers walked where no man should walk. The mountain took them. There are also ancient Tibetan scriptures that warn of sky gods and portals that open only in certain seasons. Whether metaphor or a misunderstood history, these texts suggest there are places in the mountains where reality behaves differently. Some stories speak of glowing orbs, humanoid figures with glowing eyes, and sounds that paralyze even the bravest men. Now, do you believe that the Gurkhas have entered one of these forbidden zones? Over time, many researchers ended up with different theories about what exactly happened to the Gurkhas. One theory is that maybe there was a natural disaster. Natural disasters in the Himalayas are very common, and there is a chance of avalanches. But there were no signs of trauma or heavy snow movement. The gear was intact. No broken trees or disrupted snow layers. Another theory suggests that there might be some enemy engagement, but there were no gunshots, no blood, no defensive positions. Also, no neighboring army reported an encounter. If it were a military ambush, someone would have talked eventually. Many others believed that there was a supernatural encounter. It is not uncommon in the Himalayas. The Himalayan folklore describes vanishing travelers, divine punishments, or ancient curses. There's another theory that some believe the burn marks, radiation anomalies, and vanishing echo are similar to those reported in UFO circles. Whether the Gurkhas have witnessed or been taken by something not of this earth? All these theories, but still no answers. Decades passed after that cold spring in 1952. The mountain moved and generations passed, but still no traces, and this remains as a mystery. What happened to the Gurkha soldiers? Was it a tragic incident still trying to be covered up by the bureaucracy? Or was it something so disturbing that many researchers are scared to say it in public? The story lives in fragments, in the journals of forgotten historians, in interviews with villagers who still whisper about the night the mountain took them, and in the eyes of the soldiers' descendants who never received closure. Even today, climbers occasionally report strange incidents like lights that follow them at night, sudden static on radios, and silence that descends without warning. Maybe the truth behind these is buried under the cabinet of the bureaucracy. The deeper we dig, the more we realize. Some stories don't want to be found. Maybe only the mountain remembers what exactly happened to them. This story is not just about soldiers, it's about the unknown. About how even in our modern world, with satellites and surveillance, there are places where mystery still lives. What makes this case different is not just the silence, but the effort to erase it from memory. No official reports, no names released, no recognition given. It's as if these men, our heroes, simply never existed. But here's the thing, stories don't die, even when people try to bury them. As long as someone remembers, as long as someone asks questions, as long as someone watches a video like this, the truth still has a heartbeat. So the next time you look at a snow-covered peak, remember, some trails don't just lead to the top. Some lead to secrets that were never meant to be found.